The school students are alleging that staff had been throwing lunches into the garbage if those students did not have enough money in their accounts to pay for that food. Now, local news station WQOW reports that the Stanley-Boyd School District recently had been trying to crack down on giving out lunches to students whose accounts have hit zero. Oh my God, there is a hungry student, and we're going to make sure that that hungry student doesn't eat unless they pay for this lunch. Because apparently in America, there is no free lunch. That is unless you're a billionaire. Then we give you tax cuts and we deregulate your industry and make sure that you make billions and billions of dollars. Anyway, now, they're not just actually denying people with no money in their account from getting a lunch. Now, I could see that happening. Like, sorry, you don't have any money. You can't get the lunch today unless you have actual money on you or, you whatever, right? Or somebody pays for your lunch. No, this isn't what's happening. In fact, they're actually going after students who are in the middle of eating those lunches. According to some of the students and parents, school staff members have taken away lunches from students that were already in the middle of eating those lunches and tossing them in the trash. So, look, imagine this, right? You're a kid in the school, and what? Your parents didn't put any money in your account. You don't have cash on you. You go in, you get your lunch, and then a staff member comes in, rips the lunch out of your hands, and throws it in the garbage because you didn't have enough money in your account. And doing that right in the middle of the lunchroom, in front of all your peers, in front of your friends, in front of everybody. What in the actual fuck? Is that the kind of system that we need to live in? Is that the kind of system that we want to perpetuate? Apparently so. I mean, what are we doing, right? I mean, is that what we do in America? You don't have enough money, you can't eat. Well, apparently there's a lot of people that love that system that think, no, that's completely fair. If you don't have any money, you don't eat. If you don't work, you don't eat. Well, you're a child. You're somebody who's sitting in school. Every student, I believe, deserves a lunch, deserves to eat. But in America, apparently, we don't think that way. We think that only certain people are entitled to food. Gross. Now, here come the denials, right? Now, Stanley-Boyd Superintendent Jim Jones told WQOW that no employee at the district has actually ever physically taken a lunch and thrown it in the garbage. Really? Well, that account happens to differ between both students and parents who talked to the station. Now, one student tells WQOW, quote, I guess I would have to call him a liar because he said straight up that he's never done that and his staff doesn't do it. That's not true because we as students have seen it happen. But, of course, it's their word versus the students, and, well, who's most people going to believe? Not the students. But I believe the students because this isn't the first time that this kind of story has happened. It's not the first time we've reported on this. In fact, one student said, quote, this special needs student sat down and was eating lunch, and somebody came up and grabbed his tray and said, you don't have any money in your account, and then dumped that tray in the garbage, and then did not offer him any sort of alternative food option. Didn't even allow him to charge. Now, there was a parent as well. She told the station that one school administrator admitted to her that a school employee did once trash a student's lunch, although they insisted, well, it only happened once, and it was only some nachos. Nonetheless, does that make it any better? No, that doesn't make it any better. The fact that it was just some nachos doesn't take away the fact that you literally took food out of a kid's hand who couldn't afford it and threw it in the garbage. If anything is an example of America, it's this. I mean, we're the wealthiest country in the world, right? And yet, we don't dare let someone eat food that they didn't pay for. Oh my God, what are you doing? We can't give that food out to somebody who's got no money in their account. No, they have to have money. Well, what if they don't? What if their parent forgot? You're just not going to let them eat that day? Run a tab. Let them charge. Do something. But for God's sakes, you don't rip a food out of a kid's hand. And here's the other thing, right? It's not like food is a scarce commodity now. We waste so much food. We could actually feed every hungry person in America with the food that we just throw out, that nobody's bought, that, oh, it must be bad, we're going to have to throw it out because not enough people have bought it. Do you know how much food gets thrown away? According to the USDA, 150,000 tons of food is tossed out of households every day. That is a lot of food. That is an equivalent to about a third of the daily calories that each American consumes. And looking at some of my fellow Americans, myself included, it's not like I'm thin, right? We eat a lot of calories. We eat a lot of calories here in America. And look, that has big consequences. I mean, look at the environmental toll of that waste, by the way. They found that the volume of discarded food is equivalent to a yearly use of 30 million acres of land, 780 million pounds of pesticide, and 4.2 trillion gallons of irrigated water. We take all that and we're just throwing it in the garbage. We waste this food when we could actually use it to feed the hungry. But see, here's the thing, right? Now, to be fair, most Americans toss that food out because maybe we think it's bad, right? Now, grocery stores do the same thing. Oh, look, that food, we can't sell it past this sell-by date. Even though it's technically still good, well, we got to get rid of it anyway. So we're going to toss it in the garbage. And by the way, we're not going to give it away to people who are hungry, to people who need charity. No, we're just going to toss it because we can't make a profit. So in the garbage it goes. And by the way, we're going to have special trash cans that homeless people can't get into. Again, gross, right? Now, this situation, however, this is even worse. This is different and it's worse. Because here's good food. It's actually been prepared. But it gets tossed out, ripped out of that kid's hand, and tossed out because, sorry man, you didn't have $1.25 to pay for this lunch. That is gross. That is gross and an absolute disgrace. But unfortunately, this is what happens when you have a system like ours, where money is more important than people, when we don't care enough about other people to make sure that they have enough to eat. This is an absolute disgrace, and it's a disgusting, disgusting system. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.